The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why the actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's forming a fun.
Welcome back to the Blueprint Podcast for another Sunday evening. I mean, I don't know about you, even though this is kind of a beautiful time of the year, as you get older, right, we probably want more consistent warm weather. And you see people as they get older, they started moving south where the weather is better all year round. But I'm in New York, so I'm going to enjoy the season. So we just left summer, we're in fall, and we're waiting for these leaves to die, and waiting for the weather to change. Hey, this is literally a beautiful time. Before those leaves die, they're gonna change colors. All kind of things are going on. Only thing I dislike about the fall, right? For all you avid golf players trying to get in those last rounds of golf, as those leaves fall, you're going out there and you're hitting your ball, and you know exactly where you hit your ball at. But because of the leaves, you can't find it. I mean, that's the only problem about fall that I dislike, because I can't find my golf ball. And, other than that, welcome fall. Welcome to this season. Look, I'm excited, number one, for every season. As you get older, you get excited for every season, right? If it's raining, I'm going to be happy. If it's snowing, I'm going to be happy. If it's hot, I'm going to be happy. So I'm just going to enjoy each and every day that I wake up. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited tonight because, last week we kind of in this sphere of or this stream of creativity. Last week, I had Victoria on, and she was awesome, man. Her artwork was awesome. Her story was amazing, and hey man, kudos to Victoria. She was amazing last week, and I'm looking forward to it being amazing again. And so I really want to get right into this thing, man. I got my pebble. Well, it's not a pebble, but it's a pebble. They say if you throw a pebble in a pond, right, you never know what kind of ripple effect you will get. So I'm about to drop this pebble because I believe that every guest that comes on the show will be able to share their experiences. These are just, all of them have been awesome interviews, and I'm sure that someone's going to learn something tonight, right? Somebody's going to see it later on tomorrow or during the week, and they're going to learn something from our guests. And it may not even impact anybody. You may see it and say, "Oh, that was kind of a interesting interview." I like the guest, but then a few years down the road, something that the guest has said, something the person that I interviewed said, starts to impact them. They say, "Oh, I remember such and such saying this," and so we're expecting a ripple effect, right? We just don't know the power of an interview, the power of a person's story. So I'm excited. You probably can hear it in my voice. And so I want to jump right into it, right? And I want to get to what we consider is our book of the week. Man, I'm excited about this. And the book of the week is Cicely Tyson's Just As I Am. Now, it was so crazy. I've always admired Cicely Tyson, right? And she was on the Today Show up there with Gail. And it was such a powerful interview. And I think they interviewed her in the church. And she was having just this great dialogue. I was amazed because at her age, she was just vibrant. And she said something that was very powerful. She said, "Man, I'm looking for my next show. You know, I'm looking for my next movie." I think she was in her 90s, and I was excited listening to her, man, because as you get older, man, you like, you know, hey, sometimes we just stop moving. And Cicely Tyson was like, look, don't stop moving, keep dreaming, keep it aspiring to be successful. And I was thinking of when I first saw Cicely Tyson, and one of my favorite movie for me was the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. Right? I don't know if you guys remember that, but she was awesome in that movie. And I literally, I seen that one on television, but you got to go back a little bit further and you'll see the movie with James Earl Jones and Cicely Tyson in the movie Sounder. What at that time when I was growing up wasn't that many movies on there, and particularly African American movies on there. Of course, she was in a number of Tyler Perry's movies, and she was also in Hoodlums, um, and she was the woman called Moses. Right, I know you guys remember some of the. If you're Cicely Tyson fan, you would know. But my favorite, as I move on, Bustin' Loose. I don't know, yeah, she did some serious stuff, but the movie she did, Bustin' Loose with Richard Pryor, she was telling Richard Pryor to take these kids to this town out in the country, and he had to drive the bus. That was hilarious. I don't know if you've seen that. I'm laughing thinking about that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find that movie. I'm gonna have to watch that, man, this week, and watch Cicely Tyson and Richard Pryor do their thing. So kudos. If you haven't gotten the book, somebody gave me the book, and of course I gave the book away. My aunt Joyce is an avid reader, so I gave her the book with Cicely Tyson, Just As I Am. And it is just awesome. So here's the word of the week, and so it kind of explains Cicely Tyson, right? The word of the week is brilliant. She was brilliant. Yeah, she was a brilliant actress, right? And when you look at that word, that's an awesome word. And I put that diamond near it because, man, when you're a diamond, man, when your diamond is pure, with no flaws in it, you are brilliant, right? Wonderful word. Wonderful word. Tell somebody they're brilliant. Maybe they don't understand what it is, but you say to that person, "Oh, my wife is brilliant." That's a good one right there. My wife is brilliant, and so amazing. And so here's my affirmation for this week. Hill and Pierce Harper affirmation. It says, "I am beautiful and I am brilliant." Right? When you get up in the morning, no matter how you feel, you wake up, look in the mirror, and say, "I'm brilliant, I'm beautiful, and I'm brilliant." Man, that's an awesome affirmation there. And then the music of the week, right? Music of the week is the best of Duke Ellington. I mean, we're gonna have a curiosity conversation with our guest this evening, man, because he go, remember, hidey, 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 oh, right. Like, man, used to see those old black and white movies in the back, and Duke Ellington was doing his thing with the orchestra. Man, just an amazing musician. I mean, just awesome. And so he's the music of the week. And then the movie of the week is The Wiz, one of my favorite all time, Diana Ross, of course, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell. Let me say this before I do my shout outs. Let me say this. I got the chance, my agent and Michael Jackson, the singer, we had the same agents. He did the music side, and he also did the sports side. And I happened to be invited to Madison Square Garden, where Michael and the Jacksons were performing the Victory Tour, and it was an amazing thing, right? And everybody just thought that we had that Michael had passed his reign was over. They didn't know Michael's reign was just beginning. And I happened to be sitting in the crowd. They got me seats sitting in the crowd. And I was sitting right in the middle of Diana Ross, Nipsey Russell, right? Janet Jackson. Oh man, I was in starstruck heaven at the Garden that night, man. It was just amazing to be able to be among those guests, particularly playing in The Wiz. I love it. And so as I move forward, I want to do a little shout out here, right? My first one is to, Mother Harrell. Mother Harrell was an angel. She passed away. They had a service on yesterday, and she was an angel she was an angel to a lot of people. But I mean, many of you know my son Isaiah, who's disabled. And when Isaiah was a little guy, when my wife and I were just, didn't, we were in, like didn't know who was going to take care of him once he got to school. Right. And he was going to be in elementary school, regular elementary school. He was prepped for it. And we didn't know who the aide was going to be. And you don't trust everybody with your kids. But Miss Harrell was an angel sent by God to be Isaiah's amazing aide. And even up into all her kids and grandkids and great grandkids, when they asked her how she was doing, she would always ask about Isaiah, and she would say, I took care of Isaiah. God bless you, Mother Harrell, man. You're going to be missed truly. You're going to be truly missed, and we definitely loved you. So, and then my father-in-law, right? Happy heavenly birthday to him. Poppy, he had a whole bunch of names. Lloyd Wallace, vice principal for many years in the Yonkers school system, particularly Yonkers High, Lincoln High School, and just an amazing man. Heavily birthday, man. You are missed. I call him Rev because he was always preaching to me. I mean, and I would listen too because he was a big guy. So I'm definitely paid attention to what he was saying. And then happy birthday to my youngest son, Isaiah. Isaiah's birthday was this week. And just an awesome young man. And, he's just a man, So let's see here. The A Train. I didn't mention the A Train, Duke Ellington and the A Train. Oh man, awesome. Well, we're gonna get back to Duke Ellington, and we want to show a highlight right now. We want to get into this thing right now. Oh man, next week's guest. Can't forget next week's guest. Lowe's the third is going to be the guest host. We got Courtney Lynn, actor, voiceover artist, choreographer. She's going to be on the show next week. And, she's awesome, man. I mean, let me tell you something. And I'm sure that my guest can talk a little bit about this when she comes on. Being an actor, producer, whatever you in the arts is not easy. It's not an easy career. It's got to be something that you really love. You really love to do, right? And Courtney was in school with my oldest son, Lozy. He was acting out in California, and man, they in the fight, right? They're putting all they can into being the actors they want to be and getting the opportunities they want to get so they can tell the stories. They love telling stories, and they are amazing. But there are a whole lot of amazing actors out there today, and it's a great competition. I know what competition is as a former athlete, right? We were always trying to stay on the team, always trying to make the team. So that's a tough career. It's okay. Every career is tough. I don't know anybody that just walked into a job without work. So, hey, put in the work hard. And then right after him on the 17th, on the Sunday the 17th, I got Mike Breen, longtime play-by-play sports commentator, for the NBA, ABC, and the main commentator for the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. I'm looking forward to speaking to him about some sports. Yeah, this is just going to be awesome, man. And so without further ado, we're going to show you our highlight, and we're going to jump right into this, and we're going to have some fun.
This is the Denzel Washington School of the Arts. This is the Denzel Washington School of the Arts. Denzel Washington School of the Arts.
Awesome. Dr. Collins.
Yes.
Collins. Hey, I know that was a kind of a this past February going for your auditions, but it showed the most when we were looking for something. We wanted to show the most of everything that you guys are accomplishing and doing at the Denzel Washington School of Arts, man. I mean, awesome. So how you doing?
I am wonderful. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. It is my pleasure. I didn't know if you knew this or not. Before it was the Denzel Washington, School of Arts, right? And Denzel actually went to junior high school there,
right?
At Washington Junior High School. I actually went to Washington Junior High School, right before it became Nellie Thornton Elementary School,
right?
And then Nellie Thornton High School, and man, that's an awesome. Nobody knows the architecture on that school is amazing. I mean, that's an amazing school. You have an amazing school.
Thank you.
So, before we get into the arts here, I got a couple of questions, and we talked a little bit about it earlier. So we want to get to know Dr. Collins. We're going to try to loosen you up here a little bit.
I'm loose. I'm good.
Yeah. So, three important questions. You can kind of, do them simultaneously. The importance of family, like, mom, dad, growing up, siblings, that experience. and then I'm sure you would not be the principal if your mom and dad wasn't talking about education. So the importance of family and education. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Originally, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. So growing up in Detroit, Michigan, and I grew up in a time where imaginations were very active. So we played, and we pretend, and we played, and we pretend, and we read books. My mother was the type of individual who pushed all of her kids in education. She was the type of mother that made us go to the library every 2 weeks, get a new stack of books, bring them home, read them, tell her about them, go back, get more. And so my imagination and who I am today is based on having a very strong mother who afforded me the opportunities to flip from one thing to another. If I said I wanted to learn how to tap dance, she put me in the tap dance program. I wanted to be a brownie, she put me in the brownie program. I wanted to be in the marching band. I wanted to take acting at Wayne State University. Whatever I wanted to do, she never complained. She was a single parent. She never complained. She made sure I had access, and she made sure I had all of the tools I needed to participate. So I always have to give a big shout out to my mother because I didn't realize it as a child. It's more so in retrospect when I look back and I realize all of the opportunities I was afforded. And she never said no. She never said no to anything. If I wanted to be a detective with a detective agency in the garage, she allowed me to do that. She was my first customer. It was that kind of environment. And then growing up with siblings, I have 5 other siblings, and they would allow me to make up stuff and talent shows. And we were always doing little talent shows in the living room, or we were pretending, or we were playing tag. The whole neighborhood. I grew up. It was a healthy, exhilarating childhood, and all of that shaped who I am today. I would direct plays in the garage. I would create a carnival in the backyard, and sometimes my middle brother would be like my nemesis, but he was always the first one in line to participate. My older sister taught me about being who I am along with my mother. Sometimes she was mean, sometimes she was phenomenal. Sometimes she was mean, and sometimes she was phenomenal. And my younger siblings let me play. They never said no to any game, any pretend. We're going to do a play. We're going to tell a story. We're going to go and find money. We're going to go on a walk and find some whatever. And my friends in the neighborhoods, I'm telling you, Lowe's, I had a wonderful childhood. And I had a family that embraced me, whether I was kind of quirky or whether I was always trying to make something up or always trying to get people to do things. And then my mother, being a strong Christian, we all had to go to church, just like everybody else. We had to go to church every Sunday. We had to go to Sunday school. We had to go to Vacation Bible Sunday school. I sang in the choir. I was in the plays in the church. And so that's a part of who I am as well. But that came from my mother. My grandfather was a deacon. So he shaped who she was. You understand? So it's that. And then education was big in our family. I mean, I went to the University of Michigan, undergrad and graduate, learned so much, was afforded so many opportunities. And then I came to New York and went to Columbia University, and then New Rochelle. And then I graduated. My last degree is from Fordham, my doctorate. So education is big. My family understood the value of education.
Yeah. And man, you mentioned Detroit. Number one, you could always look for a place like you go there and it's like, can any place be colder than New York? I mean, New York, Chicago, Detroit. I had my uncle lived in Detroit. He had a big, huge family. He had about, I don't know, 12, 13 kids or whatever. We originally from North Carolina, Plymouth, North Carolina. He moved to Detroit, and he used to live by the Silver Dome. You remember the Silver Dome?
Yeah.
and I was there one time out of high school. I played in the Michigan Round Ball Classic for high school All-Americans. And we were at the Pontchartrain, right? There was a hotel called the Pontchartrain.
I remember.
Yeah. So yeah, I got a little history in the Detroit area. And you said you went to Michigan?
University of Michigan, Ann Arbor,
University of Michigan. Yeah. Nice colors. That's the blue and gold, right?
That is,
Not
yes.
as blue and gold as West Virginia, where I went to school, but I think I was a little brighter, And,
Could have
and,
been.
and the interesting thing was that the coach at West Virginia left West Virginia to take over the Michigan job before. Now was it Juwan Howard
Mhm.
is the coach now there at in Michigan, man. But yeah, I got a little experience with Michigan and Detroit. I have family in Detroit right now.
Mhm.
I don't know what it was. Maybe they followed my uncle from North Carolina to uh, to Detroit, but it's an amazing city, right? It's an awesome city, and yeah, I mean, and then educationally, I want to, yeah, we're going to continue, but I want to throw a curiosity question since you were talking about education, right?
Right.
So you went to get your we're going to have a curiosity conversation right now, right there, and so you went on, and I was reading this because you got to do your research on your guests, right? So you end up getting a doctorate, right? And you
Mhm.
get it on with my music of the week, the best of Duke Ellington. So, I mean, I mean, how did it all come about?
My dissertation was on the Duke Ellington School for the Arts. And I was always amazed by the journey of that school. And I felt that it didn't get its recognition. Predominantly Black school, all Black school, started by Peggy Cooper Cafritz, a lawyer, but had a talent show one summer when she was in grad school and saw all of the raw talent of the young people and felt that they needed a place where they could go and learn and shape their skills and technique and all of that wonderful stuff. No one had thought about them. LaGuardia was in existence. Other schools, but it wasn't LaGuardia at the time. It was Music and Art and the School of Performing Arts. But Peggy inspired me. And so learning her story inspired me to learn more about Duke Ellington School of the Arts. So I decided to do my dissertation on Duke Ellington. And it's the first historical dissertation on the school telling its history.
Mm.
And I got to meet Peggy and interview Peggy and go to her cool mansion and everything. And then she passed away. I had the last interview with her,
Wow.
which was an amazing thing. And I had the opportunity to speak with teachers and parents and former students who were part of the school. It was a great thing. I always wanted to start my own School of the Arts ever since I saw the film Fame. I'm gonna be honest with you. When Fame hit the screen and living in Detroit, we didn't have a school like that. And I
Right.
knew it was in New York, but it was too late for me to come to New York and try to go to high school. So I always said I would start my own school one day. And so doing my dissertation on that topic, coming to Mount Vernon, where I proposed the idea and the school district were down with it and thought it would be a good idea. And here we are today. So Duke Ellington Foundation for Denzel Washington School of the Arts.
Hmm. Yeah, and but when you were talking to them about the school, did they say why they selected? What was it about Duke Ellington that they thought to name the school after? I mean, I don't know, other than seeing Duke Ellington on television and knowing his music, very little. But what was it about Duke Ellington that they wanted to name the school after him?
I remember Peggy said they were at the 25th hour and they needed a name. So it's not a long drawn out story like they were listening to the music and they were inspired. But someone suggested Duke Ellington and everyone agreed and thought that would be a cool name for the school.
Wow.
Sometimes it's like that. Whereas with Denzel, I had that on the back burner forever and had it on the back burner that when I started the school, I would name it after Denzel. So it was a coincidence that he's from Mount Vernon, that he actually went to the school in which our school now resides. It was Washington. And when I spoke to him, he said it was Washington then, and it'll be Washington again. And so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I like that. Oh, I didn't even put two and two together.
Yeah.
Washington and Washington. I should have thought about that one.
Washington Middle School. So he was like, and he was excited about that. And thought it was cool. He said it was Washington then, and it'll be Washington again.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah. So, but you know, it's interesting that as I was mentioning earlier, and I want to say it live to everybody, because you know, my wife and I and many of my friends, we grew up in a time in Mount Vernon where the arts was prevalent. You know, if you couldn't play sports, then you would find your niche in something else. And so it would be, you know, there were singing groups, uh, there was the gospel choir, there was the plays. It was just so many amazing things going on, and for a period of time, you know, I mentioned earlier that when my oldest son finally got to you know, to the high school, there were no arts, and actually, we had moved him out of Mount St. Michael's because one of the middle schools at the time, I think it was Nichols Middle School, they had moved across town, and they said it was going to be a school of the arts, and it kind of didn't get off the ground. So, you know, then coming to Mount Vernon High School, you know, we knew that because he was down at the School of Arts down in New York City when he was a little kid. And he used to go down there. I used to drive him down there 2 or 3 times a week so that he could go and act and do all those kind of different things. And but coming back home, he didn't really have a place to go. And so eventually he went to a private school. But man, when I first heard you were bringing it back, man, I was so excited, man, that you had brought that back, that you had brought back the arts and given all these creative and talented kids an opportunity. And so I'm glad that the district allowed it. And I just have to say that what you've done over these years have just, as far as seeing the kids and the talent of those kids, it's just been truly amazing. So so getting into it, what was your first thought when you came in? How did you come up with the first, like, you're there now, school is started, right? Or the program is started, and you say, I'm gonna pick one play that these kids could do to start this thing off. Which play was it?
Well, so it's 2 parts. So first I did the arts at Mount Vernon. That's when I took kids from, then the school was Thornton High School, Mandela, and Mount Vernon High School.
Mm-hmm.
So my team and I went into those 3 schools, and our first play was The Wiz. We went into those 3 schools and we auditioned kids in the 3 high schools. The Denzel Washington School wasn't in existence yet.
Right.
So we went and we went to all 3 schools, and we noted how many the kids were just simply talented. You know, they lacked the training, but they were talented. Mm-hmm. But with my professional team of my choreographer, my vocal director, my set designer, the 3 of us going into those schools, we found them. We found the kids. And we produced The Wiz. This is back in 2015 over at Mount Vernon High School. Mm-hmm. And everybody who was anybody in Mount Vernon came out. It was almost standing room only. It was such an amazing experience for the kids, but it seemed to be an even more amazing experience for the community.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was happy. I saw it in their faces, and I knew that this was going to work. I didn't know the history of Mount Vernon when I came in. So I didn't know that the arts, you had plays and you had the band day. I heard about the band day, but all the other stuff, I've never heard about that as much. So I didn't know. I was just coming in. I was a principal in New York of an art school. All of my work has been in the arts. So it's just naturally what I do. But the biggest thing I heard about was the marching bands and band day and shutting the city down. And everybody's just proud of the kids and the music and all of that. We haven't gotten to that level yet because it's hard to get the bands back into the schools. So we have a band. I mean, we have a, marching band. We have a jazz, we have the band. We have an orchestra in our school, but the other schools aren't built that way. So It's hard to recapture that spirit, that energy that people knew of. Now everything is so test focused. Everybody's concerned about kids passing a test. So they don't get to celebrate the arts the way they did back in probably the 80s and the 90s. So The Wiz was the first play that I produced at Mount Vernon High School. And then the next year we did Dreamgirls.
Yeah.
And then the Magnet program started and we did Charlie Brown. And then I would go back with the high school and I did a Raisin. And then I came back to the little ones and I did Suzico. Then I came back to the big ones and we did The Color Purple. And then I came back to the little ones and we did The Lion King. And when we did The Lion King, I knew that we were doing something very special. Those kids were only in grades 6, 7, 8, and 9. And they performed like seasoned professionals. Whatever notes I gave them, whatever expectations I had of them, if I would raise the bar, they would rise up and they would meet me there and they would deliver those performances. So I was so inspired by them, their tenacity, their talent. You know, that's throughout Mount Vernon. So my kids are fortunate. I have 420, but there's so many other kids throughout the district who probably don't know about the school or don't know how it works. But you can't get everyone in because we only have room for 500 kids, really, to be honest with you. But yeah, we started with The Wiz.
Yeah, and somebody just put up, do you have to live in Mount Vernon to attend the school?
You do.
So
It's a Mount Vernon City School District.
Yeah. So, and you, as you can see, people commenting down at the bottom. Can you recommend an art school for kindergartners? Very talented, smart, outgoing, loves to dance, loves to sing, act, so forth and so on.
We have a Saturday Arts Academy that's open to, well, it hasn't started yet, but we will have a Saturday Arts Academy that's open to grades K through 6. And that can be from any of the schools, and it's on Saturdays. So this will be our 3rd year. The kids come in, they can learn how to play the violin, the piano. We have ballet, we have visual arts, we have acting, we had tap. I mean, so we have the arts for the little ones on Saturdays, so they can get a taste of the performing and visual arts. And so that'll start up either next month or the following month. We've already received approval for that.
Well, yeah, and then, you know, when during that missing time, and I remember, you know, really when my kids were in music, if it wasn't for I think the gospel choir, right? At that time, when my kids were in school, the gospel choir was one of the hottest things. And then in terms of the arts, it was in the middle school, it wasn't in the high school. And they were doing a tremendous job at that. But I remember, band was king in Mount Vernon, you know, back in the day. When I graduated 1976, right? and we had the graduation at Memorial Field, and the band covered the whole field.
Wow.
And I mean, and there was cheerleaders, there was dancers, there was the Glee Club. I mean, individuals active. And like I said, it was a school band day, but Mount Vernon hosted a band. I remember one time, and we also had another band inside of in Mount Vernon. It was called a CAG, Drum and Bugle Corps. And I remember Mount Vernon hosted 100 bands from across the United States in Mount Vernon. So you're that spark, right? You know, yeah, the academy's that spark that we hope will continue to light up other things to come as well and get the support needed, because it costs. Let me say this. I'm gonna say this. You know, it costs money. You know, if you want this band to be like it was in the past, you got to support it financially. I mean, if you want the arts to be the way, you know, something really amazing, you got to support it financially. I mean, one of the least supported things are the arts. Music and the arts are not supported, and it needs to be supported, because hey man, I'm an older guy now. I love going to, when they shut down during the pandemic, you shut down Broadway. My wife and I love to go to see The Lion King, love to see new plays coming out, love to see The Color Purple. And yeah, it's got to start somewhere. Why not at the Denzel Washington Arts Academy? So yeah,
We've
amazing.
been doing well. We've been doing well with that, Lois. We the kids who were in our Saturday Arts Academy last year are now in our school in 6th grade. So the 5th graders who attended the Saturday Arts Academy are now 6th graders in our school. They auditioned and they were accepted into the program because they understood what it took, even though they had only had those 6 months to work on their instruments or work on dance or any of the other arts disciplines. When they auditioned, they were ready. And when we had our summer bridge program, they were on the stage with the upperclassmen. So it's a beautiful thing. I think people are so afraid that when they think about math or ELA or those subjects, they think you have to double it up. Like every kid should have 2 math classes, 2 English classes. And when they do that, they eliminate the arts.
Mhm.
And because they don't know the true value of the arts. They see the arts as something everybody can do. You're just playing around. It's fluffy. It has no foundation really in real life. You can't work. You don't want to be a starving artist. But the bottom line is, our kids who graduated, our first graduating class, we had 100%. All of our kids graduated. That has not happened in a very long time in Mount Vernon or in most other cities. You don't have a 100% graduation rate. And these are kids who went from 7th grade to 12th grade. They're in some of the finest colleges, Penn State, NYU. We have an artist at the Rhode Island School of Design. We have another visual artist at Pratt, at Purchase Conservatory. We have kids who are studying biochemistry at Binghamton. So you look at the arts and you say, okay, all of these kids, what if there's no money in it? That's what parents think. How are you going to get a job? How are you going to raise a family? That's what they're thinking. But they don't understand that the arts help shape the whole child. It's not one way of looking at the world. And it deals with the senses. So you're able to hear, see, touch, taste, all of that comes through the arts. I'm a big advocate for the arts. I have a book that's being published on leadership in the arts and about how you can integrate the arts in the schools and get better results. We did the arts. Our kids take an arts class every day, and they 6th grade all the way through 12th grade, every day. So you can imagine what they look like when they come out. One of my students just made his debut at the Metropolitan Opera. He's in The Fire Shut Up in My Bones. And so I was able to go, wow, that's cool. You have the picture. Wow, cool. Yeah, Judah, we're very proud of Judah. So he's in the opera, this historical opera at the Metropolitan Opera, where he plays one of the brothers in the production. And I was so honored to sit there in the final dress rehearsal yesterday and watching my kid up on the stage, all of our kids. But to watch him on stage with all the pros, he's in the pre-college program at Juilliard. We have orchestra students who are in the pre-college program at Juilliard. We have kids who are at Concordia, at Dance Theater of Harlem, Harlem School of the Arts, Alvin Ailey. Our kids, in addition to doing the work with my teachers, they also, after school and on Saturdays, study outside of our school. So we give it to them. That's Kendall. Phenomenal dancer. This kid has danced everywhere. Just the summer before last, she was at the Debbie Allen Academy in California.
Wow.
They've won medals through the NAACP AXO competition. They've won the gold medals in dance and visual arts, in acting and vocals and instrumental music. And our school is only 6 years old.
That's my man right there.
Tommy?
Oh yeah, Tommy Guess.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, I had him at the Boys and Girls Club when he was a little guy.
Yeah, he got a lot of press because he
Quiet
was and brilliant.
but amazing.
Yeah, brilliant kid. You
Mhm.
said the word of the day is brilliant. That kid is brilliant.
Yeah, he is. What grade is he in now?
He graduated.
He graduated. What is he doing?
He's at Stony Brook.
Oh,
Stony Brook College, and he's studying engineering. He was a music major.
oh wow! My daughter just became the first assistant for the women's basketball team there at Stony Brook.
Right, one of my parents just posted that we also have kids at Manhattan School of Music. So
Man,
I've missed some
yeah.
places, but they're all over the place. They're all over the place. They're wonderful.
Well, let me say this too, because I mentioned it. I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned my kids and my niece. Um, it's it's something. Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about just about the science of what happens when a kid does something like music and acting and those things, and how it increases their ability to comprehend, to study, to be more a better student, right? And then be more expressive as well, be more confident, bring out the, if you're an introvert, well, if you're an introvert, that's not necessarily the place where you say, well, I'm gonna go there to come out, you know. But if you happen to, to get in it and have get over the fear and just get in it, it will bring something out in you. My daughter that I said is at Stony Brook as an assistant coach, she got into her. My oldest daughter was in the acting, and then my youngest daughter got in there, and we call her name is Sherelle, right? We used to call her Shirelle. you know uh when my wife got up, I don't know if it was me or my wife got up to speak one time. We said our daughter's gonna come up and she's gonna sing a solo for us. Well, Sherelle jumped underneath those chairs in the pulpit underneath it. And she was hiding because she was not going up there in front of those people. But getting into the arts, right? Getting in the arts brought out something special. And I think every student, not some, but every student should take a course in the arts.
That's my philosophy.
Yeah, just awesome, man. I tell you, woo, I'm getting excited over here. I didn't know I'm gonna, I'm no, last week we had Victoria on, and she's an artist and an illustrator. She illustrated her first book and wants to do her own. But I remember her when she was really, really little. But that's how I started out before sports. I started out doing artwork. I was still a lover of animation, right? I still believe, I like to be creative. I'm a creative person. So I love the arts. I love music. I love entertainment. I love sports. And I think every one of our kids should, if they don't end up in it, they should participate. They should have a class in it and something, because you just never know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, then the question pops up: how can the community support your programs? What can we do to help? I think the biggest thing that the community can do is come out for the performances. When you come out and you pay your $10 ticket, or you buy a DVD of one of our productions, or some organizations have gotten together and they're creating scholarships for the seniors, or people just make donations because we buy the tap shoes. The kids don't buy any of the stuff. And that started from when I first wrote a grant for $1.5 million. I bought everything for the kids. So they would see Broadway shows. They would go to see Alvin Ailey every year. They would go to the museums. They would go and listen to the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. We had money. So the more money we have, the more things we can do. The grant ran out. So now I'm looking for more grants. And I'm also looking to raise money for the school so we have those same opportunities. The graduates just graduated in June. So it's almost impossible for them to give back so quickly. They've only been out of school like 3 months. So I imagine, and that's our first graduating class. Some of the kids are pictured there. But I imagine that they'll figure out ways to do it. They come back, they do classes. Some of our kids, the kids who were the Mount Vernon kids and Thornton kids, who helped us set up the program, the way they give back, they come work with us every summer. They did for the first 4 years when they were in high school. And then we had one of our phenomenal actresses, dancers, your niece, come back and work with us this summer. And she taught a dance class for the younger kids, and they were thrilled. And it was such an honor to have her back because I met her in 9th grade. That's Kalila. Met her in 9th grade. She was in all of the plays that we did. And then she graduated, and then she went to AMDA. She did her years in New York City, and then she went out to LA and finished up her degree. And when she came back, she was here with us for the summer and taught in the summer bridge program. It was almost like full circle, because we started the program when she was a ninth grader, and here she is now a college graduate, and she's back working in the program. And she'll also be teaching a dance class after school, and then she's back off to LA.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, and I think I seen the question up there. What's the next production? I'm getting ready for this. I'm like,
Because we did so well with Lion King. We did it at Mount Vernon High School, but now we're in our building with our state-of-the-arts auditorium and lights and everything. So we're revisiting the Lion King. So we do the Lion King the first weekend in December, and then in February we're doing a soldier's play, and then in May we're doing Once on This Island, Caribbean musical.
oh, nice. You know, my favorite play is what's my favorite play? The Lion King.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
You saw Lion King when we did in 2017. Wait until you see what we're going to do this year. The kids are more experienced. You know, we have a phenomenal theater. You've been in the theater. You see how beautiful it is.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have my team. I couldn't do any of this stuff without my arts team. My choreographer, my vocal director, my stage manager, set designer, lighting designer, costume designer, makeup and hair, you name it, we have it. And they're all professionals. So when you see the production, if I were to bring everybody on the stage who was involved with the production, it would be 50, 60 people on the stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, that's awesome.
Oh, and I forgot, I'm going to do a talent show. We do Mount Vernon's Got Talent, but this time I'm doing Mount Vernon's Got Talent with teachers, community members, parents, anybody who wants to audition for the show. And I'm going to put that on in the spring as a fundraiser.
Well, I would say I would nope. I was not Denzel Washington. Oh my God, no way. You know, I did. Yeah, I had this acting spot. I was in elementary school, right? But I couldn't remember. I couldn't really remember the lines. So, and I was one of the biggest guys in the school, right? In elementary, sixth grade, we did this play, and I was Bugs Bunny, right? And I had one. I had the rabbit ears, and all I had, they had to point at me. They pointed at me, and I said, "What's up, Doc?" That was my lines.
And you couldn't remember it?
I remember that because I've seen Bugs Bunny every week, but I did. I played in the band, and I played in the trombone, and then I played in the CB and the CAG, played the drums. Yeah, I don't think I was very good at it, but I got by. Oh man, awesome. And so what do you see in regards to how far this could go? I mean, what do you see in terms of as you look in the future of the Denzel Washington Academy, man? I mean, what yeah, because I watch Fame. I love Fame. I was mad when they took it off the television, and then I was excited when they did the movie, right? And I thought that was just the most amazing, to leave, your high school and then go into another school that furthered your career,
right?
And let me ask you this other question about the future, but also, as you know, it is tough to be in this field, right? And particularly for African American actors. And so our kids are coming up, wanting to be actors, wanting to be producers, right? And you've heard Denzel and many other actors talk about the struggle, right? And do you see it I know for me, I'm seeing it get better, but it's getting better fast enough. Because you're going to be producing all these stars right here at the Denzel Washington, Academy, right? You're going to be producing these stars, and they got to have a place to go.
Right. It's the Denzel Washington School of the Arts, so it's not an academy.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, we have to stop relying on other people to create our opportunities. I think what happens to us as people of African descent, we're waiting for someone to provide us with an opportunity. And I think just like I started the school, I didn't wait for someone else to do it. I did it. And so I think people have to believe in their own power, creating a theater company, creating like Tyler Perry. I mean, create a film product. We have to take the lead and create those opportunities. You'll note that when Tyler Perry produces a film, he mainly uses people of African descent. He creates opportunities for people of African descent. It doesn't mean other people can't be in it, but he specifically created it for that purpose. More people have to follow his lead. Oprah, starting her own network, a television network. We have to take the lead. We can't sit back and wait for someone to create our opportunity. That's why people say it's going to be hard for anybody, but it's harder for us because we haven't created, a pathway to continuing the work. We're waiting. We're auditioning. It'll be 2 parts, and it'll be 500 of us auditioning for the same roles.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so we have to create our own opportunities where we produce our own plays, where we have our own jazz facilities, clubs, where we have our own art galleries, where we display and celebrate artists of African descent, where we create dance companies like Arthur Mitchell did, like Alvin Ailey did. And that's why those companies are there. They're affording dancers the opportunities to perform. Had they not done that, what would be there? So the same thing is true even more so today. We're starting to get more institutions that are creating the foundation for those programs, but it's going to be up to us what happens after that.
Yeah. So, which leads me to, like, I mean, I was having the same conversation with my older son in acting, and he did the show a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago. He had about 3 other actors on as well, and I was saying, like, we have these managers, we have these agents, and we know we're in this enormous line of talented people who are trying to get these, like you said earlier, those 1 or 2 spots. And I was saying to him, well, why don't y'all create something, and produce something and start companies and do some things. You got sometimes I said to him, sometimes you got to think outside that box.
You do.
Right.
Look at Issa Rae. Issa Rae had a web series. It's socially awkward, whatever the title of it was, but then it turned into a program on Netflix. And then now she's producing and writing and doing other things. She didn't wait. She started off on YouTube. It was a YouTube series. Enough people caught on. Enough people watched it. Enough people watched it that she was able to strike a deal with a major company. That's because she had an idea and she had a dream. I see one of my teachers is saying, ask about the programs where students are already gaining credits. Yeah, we have the Smart Scholars program at our school where our students are receiving credits towards an associate's degree. So they'll graduate from our school with their high school diploma, and they'll also have an associate's degree that they can then transfer into a college that accepts those credits.
Oh, that's progressive. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad your teacher brought that up and mentioned it.
Right, exactly. We're doing such wonderful things. It's so much. And we're over there on the south side in the little corner over there, and people don't really know we're there sometimes. They're like, the Denzel Washington School. Yeah, where is that? And we're right there. We're right there in the building.
That's one of the things that, doing tremendous work for many years at the Boys and Girls Club in Mount Vernon. Many people for years have said, well, where's the Boys and Girls Club? I've been living here, and so exposure is so important today. Branding, marketing. And if you're listening out there and you're a marketer, a brander. You might want to. Hey, we can't pay for everything, but you need to volunteer. Maybe volunteer or come in with your expertise and stuff like that, and so that we can get the Denzel Washington School of Arts out. Get it, expose it, so it can become bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
We
And
try to do that a little bit with our sweatshirts and our t-shirts, and the kids have them and they wear them wherever they go. And you look up in the picture, and our colors are blue and gold. And so the kids, you'll see us. So I'm trying to do a little branding there, so you start to ask questions about our school, and that's our logo that we created. And we have it on everything, and we try to have it everywhere.
well, I got to get me one of those shirts, man. I was looking and I said, man, there's a shirt. Not that I need another T-shirt, but this would be special, to get that T-shirt.
We have polos too. So if you got a little flavor there, we have the polo with the logo on it as well.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to get a T-shirt. You can get the collar buttoned up logo polo.
Oh yeah, I got to get one of those.
Okay, we'll get you one.
Yeah, I get one. Be wearing it on the show.
Oh, cool. We'll make sure you get one.
Definitely. And so next we got a pop-up guest. I don't know if she arrived yet. No? Okay, well, we're gonna find her. And then we're gonna pop her on. But we're gonna continue, right? Because I think this is amazing. You guys had a summer camp too as well?
We have a summer bridge program for our younger kids.
Yeah.
So it's really for the new kids to help them transition into the building, to understand, so they can learn where their classes are. They can get a sense of the culture of the school. They can make new friends. So when they come back in September, they're set to go. So when they come back first day of school, they're off and running.
Oh, that's good.
They're off and running. So they're not, scared, or, they have friends. They know where the classes are. They know where the cafeteria. They know some of their teachers. So it's a good thing.
Right. And talk a little bit about, because I was at the ceremony, because we honored Felicia Rashad at the Boys and Girls Club back a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Tremendous honoree. And so talk to us a little bit about the naming of the auditorium.
I simply adore Felicia Rashad, just like I adore Denzel Washington. So growing up with them being people that I highly respect, Felicia's in our community as well, as you know that as well. Mm-hmm. And Felicia always came to the school and asked me, what do I need? I didn't have to ask her. She asked me. And because she was that person, always a great support to the school and to me personally, everything that she represents, she's a dynamic actress. She's been in musicals, so she can sing, she can dance, she acts, she directs, she's all of that. And so the auditorium was named after someone else from the turn of the century. And now that we were on in this new arena, this new space, I wanted something new. So I proposed to the Board of Trustees and Dr. Hamilton, our superintendent, if we could rename the auditorium the Felicia Rashad Auditorium. Right. And so we talked about and talked with blah, 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 and they finally approved it. And then so we had a ceremony, a renaming ceremony, where I brought in Broadway folk and people from the Metropolitan Opera and from the Cosby Show and people who had been in films with her. And they all paid tribute to her. They either did testimonials or testimonies, or they performed. And then I had my kids perform right up there with them. So it was this beautiful celebration where we made over $50,000 for the school.
Right. I was there.
Yes.
It was amazing. It was a good time. And I think her son, I don't know how many kids she had, but I know she had a son, Billy.
Son and a daughter.
Yeah, Billy. I think his name was Billy. And he went to the Boys and Girls Club for a little while when he was a young kid. Back in the day. I don't know what he's doing now. He's got to be grown now.
Yes.
He's definitely got to be grown. And she, besides our own mothers, right?
The Cosby Show.
She's the number one mom.
Most definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody say, "Oh man, she was amazing on the Cosby Show."
And I think they portrayed a Black couple. That was one of the first times on television we got to see a Black professional couple with children who weren't living in the projects, who were doing well, and who loved each other. And it was one of the most beautiful series that was on television for whatever period of time it was on television. So I think everybody fell in love with Felicia. Everybody wanted to have a mom like Felicia. And in most of those surveys that have been conducted, she was voted the number one mom, American mom, that people would want to be their mother. And so she's such a beautiful spirit. You know, she's a good person.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, definitely, without a doubt. And so we now got our pop-up guests on here.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna show a video first.
Okay.
That video.
Don't you know you're queen? We are even flower bloom at my feet. Don't you know you're queen? Cracked, peeling, widow with disease. Don't you know you? No family is safe when I sashay. Don't you know you're queen?
She don't even need a last name, just Kalila. Just Kalila. Yeah.
Hello,
Oh, yeah.
hello.
Where'd you guys find all these pictures?
Hey, we good. We good like that. We good like that. we put in our time. And with Kalila, you know, I've been watching. Of course, she's my niece, but I've been watching not just Kalila, but a number of individuals that you've had in the school over, you know, since the performing arts program you had into the Denzel Washington School of Arts. You know, because a lot of them were in the Boys and Girls Club with the Revelators.
Right, exactly.
And so then transitioning with from the Revelators, Marion Archer, and then having some skill, you know, and some training, you know, coming into your program, and you just kind of enhanced that, you know. So Kalila, you know, I know because she mentioned you earlier about working during the summer program, but you know, talk about your experience with Dr. Collins.
Honestly, the whole entire experience has felt like a dream. Like she kind of came and just swooped in and just, kind of gave us all the hug we didn't know we needed. Like the arts were there, but it was kind of, I don't want to say dying out because we were still putting on productions, but it was definitely the extra push that we all needed. And over the years, I found a love for the arts that I didn't even know that I had, and I didn't know how deep it was. And she showed me that connection, and she helped me grow within myself. to become the performer that I always wanted to be. So the experience overall has been amazing for me, and she's gave me so many opportunities and so many things that I will cherish for the rest of my life.
Yeah, Kalila, I cast her first as a scarecrow in The Wiz. And I knew then and there, she and Aaron and Dionysia and Jahari and Sam, all of them coming on board were just, it was a dream come true because I didn't have the school, but I had them. So we were able to produce shows with them. So she was the scarecrow. Then she was Laurel in Dreamgirls. And then she was Benita in Raisin. And she got to play Nettie in The Color Purple. And so those four schools cemented, I think, the arts in Mount Vernon, right? And then all of them went off to college, every last one of them. They all went off to college and they studied the arts. They all went in, they studied dance, or like Dionysia's doing acting, and Aaron is doing acting and dance, and Jahari did dance, and they were just wonderful. They were wonderful. And they were role models for the little ones. So the little kids in the 6th grade would look up to them. And now the 6th graders that they helped shape are now the 12th graders this year. And that's the amazing thing. And they contributed to their growth and their well-being. But I adore this kid. She's wonderful, beautiful spirit. Very proud of her. I came to her showcase at AMDA. And when I saw her on stage, I saw the growth. I said, this child is going to be on Broadway. She has what it takes. And I was just very honored to just have played a small role in taking her on that journey.
Oh, nice. And, it's interesting too, that when you look at, particularly for me, Mount Vernon basketball, right? And you look at where so many guys have gone professionally and played college basketball. I believe it was all because all the guys came back. Right. You can go to college and then move on. Right. And just kind of not associate coming back home and giving back. But a lot of those guys came back during the summertime. A lot of those guys came back to see us play when we were playing in high school. And so we reciprocated. Right. So I think the continued success of your program is alumni going. Right. And alumni coming back.
Right.
And although they may move away, right? Some may move away, but there'll be some who will come back and get back involved in the program and invest back in the program.
Right.
Right. And then no matter where they go and what they do, if they become successful, to always remember where they started and so back in it. And that's what makes other schools, other organizations successful, when you see the strength of the alumni. So I hope that happens for you too as well.
I hope so. I think it will. Those kids were very grateful. They understood the opportunity they were given. They knew that it was a special time. We're hopeful that it'll continue on forever and ever and ever, but we don't know. So they know they're on this journey at this time, and they're the recipients of it. And so that's a blessing. And so I always talk to them about gratitude and really honoring your blessings. So I would imagine having that as their foundation, they would know that they are expected to come back and do something fabulous. Just the way Kalila did, just the way Aaron did, the way Sam, the way the kids do. They come back. But those were the Mount Vernon High School Thornton. Now we have the Denzel Washington kids. So we will see what they're going to do, because I just had my first graduating class.
Oh, nice. And so you mentioned Sam. So I've known Sam a long time.
Right.
And I just think that Sam's so gifted.
He is, very.
Right. What do you see for him as his next level? I mean,
I really wanted Sam to start his own dance company, but I wanted him to go and get the credentials. I want Sam to get the credentials and then start his own dance company. That's what's in his heart. And so he has to do the work for that. You can come in and dance after school, and you can be a part of the magnet program of Denzel Washington, but you got to do like what Kalila did, what Dionysia's doing, what Aaron, what Jahari. They went away. So they had a different exposure. Sometimes you need to go away so you can see things from a different perspective and then come back and then go again. I think that's what's important.
And then you have to get credentials. There's
You need credentials.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Talent is one thing, credentials are another. If you have both, then you're on a winning streak.
yeah. So Kalila, before I let you go, so tell us a little bit about what's next for you.
What's next for me? Well, I just graduated. I officially have my Bachelor of Fine Arts, so that's exciting. And I have it in performing arts, specifically dance. I'm really just saving up right now, you know. I'm gonna get an apartment, move back to LA, but I have a teacher at my school who officially asked me to audition for her dance company. It's an all women's company, and it's a contemporary company, which is my favorite style of dance, and I'm so devoted to it. And I take her outside classes just so I can get prepared. I've auditioned already, but I kind of had a side conversation with her. I told her I was still in school, so I told her I felt like I wasn't officially ready, and I know next year I'll be ready to join the company. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm very excited for that. But also on the side, I still want to take class. I want to, I want to, go to the Denzel Washington School of the Arts. I want to work with the kids. I have so many ideas for them. I worked over the summer and I got to put on this big production with all the kids, and they had so much fun, and there's so much talent. There's so much talent. It's crazy. But
Look, you
yeah,
had
there's a
fun
lot
too.
of new things coming.
Yeah, it looked like you had fun too. The way you talking
I
about it.
did. I did.
Yeah, and so before you leave, do you have any questions for Dr. Collins?
Hmm. I just, you know, I don't really have many questions because I feel like she always has the right answers. I just have tons of appreciation. I just thank you always.
Mwah.
Well, awesome, man.
Mwah.
Hey, for great things, right? Because we already at Dr. Collins, she'll say it, I'll say it. We got great expectations for you. I don't know, because when people have expectations, you got to measure up, right? So,
Yep, I'm trying.
next, I heard somebody say, maybe it was a voice. I don't know where it came from. The next Debbie Allen is in the building. Ah,
That's a compliment, and that's a bar. That's a bar. Uh, that's a high bar. Dead
yeah,
Yeah,
ass.
I'm definitely reaching. I'm reaching for the stars right now. I'm taking my time. I'm in my own lane. I'm focusing on my craft and what I do best, and it's gonna get me far.
yeah. You sound like an artist right there. Didn't she sound like an artist right there? She's
He is an artist.
Most definitely.
Oh,
yeah,
look, Aaron is there. Hey, Aaron.
yeah.
Yes,
There's Aaron right there.
yes. He's
Yeah.
at Buffalo
Eric.
State. Wonderful dancer, wonderful actor. These kids, I tell you, I have fun. It's not even like it's a real job. I come in, especially when we get to the rehearsal of the shows. I had so much fun directing Color
Yeah.
Purple, Dream Girls, all of that, all of that. There was so
Mhm.
much fun with these kids, and they came in. They set the standards for the little ones. Then the little ones got on stage with Charlie Brown, and they killed it. They slayed the production, and they were like in 6th and 7th grade. So it's a circular kind of thing happening when you have mentors, role models, you have the best teachers. I continue to say that because I think Angela Hall, Monica Johnson, Norma Lisa Thomas, Janet Rush, I normally forget somebody, Mansa Gori, Joe Dempsey, and our newest additions, Jennifer Jackson, who teaches high school dance, and Yvonne Wright, who teaches high school theater. All of them are professionals in the art world. So they bring that level of professionalism because they've worked in the industry. They bring it back to the school and they give it to the kids. And so the bar is really high. So
Mm.
it's not just a little acting class, a little violin class, a little dance class. And I have Domisha, phenomenal tap dancer, was in Black and Blue on Broadway. All of my folk are that. I directed shows and films and all of that. So we all come together in our little bubble and we give it to the kids. And the kids take it and they run with it. And you have to kick them out of the building sometime because they don't want to go home. They want to continue to rehearse. and they love to perform. They love to perform. And I remember when some of the kids came to the school, some of the letters I read for them, how proud and honored, and how they couldn't sleep until they found out that they were in the school, and how the school was going to afford them the opportunity to be somebody. And I said, but you're already somebody. Yeah, but I'm going to be somebody famous. And so it means a lot to them. I'm not saying all kids have aspirations in the arts, but for those kids who do, parents need to pay attention. Parents need to support, their desires and find opportunities for them to explore whatever it is they're interested in. We're trying to do our very best to provide opportunities in the arts for those, and we don't charge. So our Saturday Academy is free. You don't get that anywhere else. If you go to Harlem School of the Arts, no disrespect, you pay for that. You pay for those classes. We give it to them free.
Right. So, Kalila, I want to say thank you. Thanks for popping on. Love
Thank you
you.
for having me. Love you guys.
All right, sweetie. See you soon.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you mentioned earlier, particularly one individual in regards to, I think you interviewed or went to the school for the Duke Ellington
School of
School
the Arts.
School of the Arts, and but besides that person, is there anybody else who's had an impact on your life?
So many people, those. I stand on many women's shoulders. I really do. I've always had the opportunity since third grade to have some strong educator, artist, director, somebody in my life. I still know my college professor from when I was 17 at the University of Michigan. To this very day, she pops up at my events. She comes to the shows. When I'm getting an award of any sort, she's always there. She's always there. So I've had college professors. I've had the actress Billie Allen. I've had Nikki Grant, Tony, Grammy Award winning act. All of these mentors throughout my life and Ruby D, wow, you guys found that picture. Ruby D, who as a child inspired me. She really inspired me. She was the first time I saw a Black actress playing a regular role. And I knew that acting was possible for me. I was a theater major, an acting major. So after seeing someone like Ruby D, and she and Billie Allen were best friends, and then to meet these women and to have an opportunity to have a relationship, like I have a relationship with Felicia, it just happens. These fabulous women have always been there in my life. And so whether it was a professor, my high school teachers, I have them on Facebook. My geometry teacher is right there on Facebook from 10th grade. So I've been blessed to have those kind of relationships throughout my life.
Awesome. I think we picked up on some other pictures as well.
Oh, Felipe, Last Poet, one of the original Last Poets. Had an opportunity to work with him when I was the assistant principal at Watley Secondary School in Harlem. Am I frozen? That's Domisha. She's on a postage stamp. She's our tap dance teacher. She's there with her family. She's in the blue kind of African print skirt, but that's her in the bottom stamp. That's myself and Kalila, two of my students. He's currently attending New York University, NYU. Ariel is, and you know who Kalila is.
Dr. Collins, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey.
Okay. Well, we're having some technical difficulties, so we're going to have you continue on, throw up some pictures in there. And so we're just thankful that we have a backup plan, a plan B. So you got to always have a plan B. The Lowe's War Blueprint is coming on. Lowe's is logging out and coming back in. But we really thank you, for all that you've been bringing to the show. Okay, you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, I too have had an opportunity to see you do the productions. Talk a little bit about the young lady that plays Rafiki. I think that's what it is.
Miriam,
oh my goodness, I heard her in Mount Vernon's Got Talent, and she absolutely blew my mind. She's one of those young ladies to me that just is Broadway bound. If she hasn't been there yet, I could see her there one day.
She'll probably be our first kid to hit Broadway. So when we do Lion King this time, she's Rafiki again, but she was also Celie in The Color Purple, and she was Dorothy in our production of The Wiz. She was the Sally in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. That's when I first recognized her talent. But she's a phenomenal, phenomenal kid. She's won the gold medal each year she's participated in the NAACP Axel competition. I adore this kid. She's one of my favorite kids. She's so professional. So professional. She doesn't leave anything to chance. She learns her lines. She becomes the character, and very serious. So we're trying to make sure she gets into a great college.
Oh, absolutely.
She's a senior this year.
Now you brought her up. You've been in her life since she was in sixth grade?
In sixth grade.
In sixth grade. And so to watch her do Rafiki, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
I can't wait to see how she transitions that role in 2021 or December 2020. Is it
2021? It's 21.
December 2021 is just going to be amazing. It would be interesting to see her take a video, and I know you have them, a video of her first time doing The Lion King, compare it to the second time that she does Lion King, and to see her own transition. It'll probably blow her mind.
I know. I'm so looking forward to it.
When Lowe's did Victoria last week, when he had her on last week, she had some pictures she had drawn when she was in high school, right? Junior high school and high school. And then she said, when we showed the video, she said she was cringing because she said, people are going to think I can't draw because we showed pictures of her beginning and then the pictures of her later that she had drawn were just totally different. Right. So that's the same thing with music and the same thing with arts. I'm sure it's the same thing all the way around.
Exactly. She's had more training. She's grown as an artist. She's matured as a young adult. But she's still little. So
she's little. She is little. I see my sister asked the question. She said, what made you come to Mount Vernon?
Whoa. I saw an ad for Director of Arts and Gifted and Talented. And those are both of my areas. I was a principal in New York City. I didn't want to be a principal anymore. I wanted to do something else. And I saw the ad they were hiring for arts and gifted and talented on the district level. So I applied for that position and got it. But then when I started the school, Dr. Hamilton asked me if I wanted to be his principal. I had said I didn't want to be a principal anymore. I was done with that. Wanted to be on the district level. But it was a part of me that missed children and interacting with teachers and directing shows and being creative like that. And so after I created the school, Dr. Hamilton invited me to be his principal. So it was just a fluke coming to Mount Vernon.
So clearly that was Mount Vernon's blessing. I think you said earlier, tell me about Dr. Judith
Johnson.
Johnson, what she said to you.
When I interviewed for the position, she was so taken aback from my resume, the work that I had done in the city. And so she said, my goodness, you're going to be my gift to Mount Vernon. She was transitioning out because she was interim acting at the time. And then Dr. Hamilton was hired. But as she transitioned out, she said, you will be my gift to Mount Vernon. So I've tried to live up to that.
Well, clearly you have done just that. You have clearly done just that.
Mm-hmm.
There he is.
I'm back. I don't know what happened, but technology isn't. Man, I'm still freezing a little bit, but basically, I think I was asking about something you would share with the young actors.
She's frozen now.
I'm frozen.
Were you able to hear the question?
No.
Let's cut that down. He asked you what is something that you have that you would provide or some information or something that you would share for young people today that are looking to go to the next level in their careers, or whether they're elementary or high school. What are some things that you would share with them to prepare them for the next level?
I think what's most important is that they receive training. And I think that they should read as much as they can about the industry that they're interested in going into so that they know what to expect. I think in their schools, they have to take opportunity of the arts where and how they're offered. I also think on Saturdays, they have to find programs, whether they're free or a couple of dollars or whatever they are, and take advantage of that. I think they have to go to the theater, go to concerts, all of that, and be in the audience and learn from watching. So training, reading, exposure, that's what I believe young people need in terms of preparing for the next journey in the arts, their next level.
Wow. So you see, we made some adjustments here.
Yes.
I had to jump over on this side.
But I don't see you anymore. I only see me. Well, there you are. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there. So, Dr. Collins, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man, first of all, it's been enlightening to hear all the great things that are happening at the Denzel Washington School of the Arts. And I mean, just before the pandemic, I know he was supposed to be up, to come up,
right,
having a ceremony,
right,
and
waiting for everything to calm down. I don't want to. When he comes, I want him to come. I want people to be there. I don't want people worried about COVID and masking up. So we moved it all the way to May. So I'm hoping we can find a day in May that will work for him. And like the COVID is kind of calm. I hope it is calming down a little bit so we can fill our auditorium And very akin to what we did in terms of celebrating Felicia, we want to do the same thing for him.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I mean, he's actually was, I spoke to him. We were supposed to come to the event,
Mm-hmm.
and then we were supposed to leave and do something as a family. And COVID just knocked all that stuff out.
Certainly did.
But he was really looking forward to being there. He was excited. So I'm excited. I'm excited because he has mad skills. I'm looking forward to him coming. I'm looking forward to to all those that time, that celebration, and to get him back here in Mount Vernon. And I say to you, hey, I'm always around. Again, thank you for all that you're doing for the community of Mount Vernon, the school district. And, if this was your dream, well, welcome to the dream. And I say the best is yet to come. And so, again, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thanks for taking care of all our babies.
Love them all. Love them all.
All right. Hey, this is Lowe's Moore. Thank you for joining the Blueprint. Sorry for all the, I don't know what was going on or what's happening. I don't know if it's storming outside. I don't know what's going on. But, technology is not perfect. And, but we kind of been prepared for when things are not going right. And you try to make adjustments. But thank you for your support. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Dr. Collins, thank you. And to all those who support Lowe's Moore and the Blueprint, God bless you and have a blessed week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's Moore, the Blueprint podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's Moore and on Facebook at Lowe's Moore Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.